This is Jason Verney's podcast. I am Jason Verney. This podcast is, you could say it's in conjunction with an article I've posted as well on my website, miniminimovie.com. It's also, you could say as well, that it's in conjunction with a film screening that's taking part later this week in London. It's actually a film called The Apology. This is by a director who's a woman called Tiffany Hsiung, spelled Hsiung in the English language. Now, this film is an important film. It's called The Apology, as I say, and it's regarding, I can't really do inverted commas on the podcast, but comfort women. It's therefore important for issues of human rights, women's rights, physical abuse, and so much more. I'm talking of forced sex slavery or sexual slavery by the Japanese government and the army during World War II. It's estimated, and some of you will know this already, so I apologise if this is going to be stuff that you're aware of, but it's estimated that around 200,000 women were affected by this from different parts of Asia. I believe the majority were from Korea, but also the Philippines, China, and many other countries. It's an important subject matter. It's also important to me. I mean, on a personal note, ever since starting my research and travels to South Korea, this often hidden beneath the news issue, I would call it, it keeps bringing me back to Korea's history and pain, and as well as other countries in Asia, as I mentioned. This screening and this is actually a UK premiere, but this screening, which I actually caught in Busan Film Festival in 2016, less than 6 months ago. It couldn't come at a better time in the UK. We've just had International Women's Day. We've had the Million Women's March, which is essentially against violence to women. So it's a very timely UK premiere of The Apology. Now, and this isn't the first time I've mentioned comfort women before. Those familiar with my one or two podcasts I've done where I've kind of flirted with this particular subject matter will know this, and also any familiar with my videos on YouTube or Vimeo. I filmed a conference with comfort women activists. Mostly they were Japanese activists. We have to remember as well that it's commonly known by a lot of, it's commonly known that this kind of sexual slavery kind of began in Japan, and these activists that I interviewed were from Japan mainly. It was actually a conference in Oxford in a university there, but I also interviewed them as well. There's some videos online about this. We also, on the same subject matter, my friend, you could say accomplice, when Ban Ki-moon, the UN secretary, when he was in the UK, beginning of 2016, around about a year ago now, my friend, who's an activist, and he got up in front of Ban Ki-moon with his sort of, mentioning the fact that we, basically on his placard, it was essentially saying, that we mustn't forget these comfort women, what happened to them, and not only that, it was not long after yet another agreement with the Japanese and Korean government that wasn't the apology yet again. It was a way round it, put it that way. I don't want to go into it too much on this podcast. This is essentially about the film and the filmmaker and its subject. So yeah, and even off YouTube, I've been involved with protesting. I've been involved with a musical of all things. In 2012, I filmed that and became very good friends with the people involved. It was actually called Gumok, and it was regarding comfort to women. Again, I'm doing the inverted commas off the audio you're listening to this. Now, and not only that, I've been to Seoul, where the Japanese embassy is. Of course, we've got a Japanese embassy in the city. There's a statue opposite, which is directly opposite them. There's a protest every Wednesday by activists and also the victims. Some of the victims, they're very elderly now, and this elderly factor is another reason why this film needs to be seen and needs to be the word needs to be spread, because these women are old now. I mean, yes, there's a house of sharing in South Korea, a little way out of Seoul, basically, where it's dedicated to these women, and there's also probably debate about that. It's a house of sharing. I don't know if it's more of a a kind of showy thing, but people can go there and visit and learn about what happened. But these Wednesday protests that I mentioned, they're extremely important. They've been going for so many years now. Ever since the first woman came out and explained, basically you had the courage to confess to what had happened to her. So yeah, they're a very committed bunch that go there on Wednesdays. This is featured. I mean, I caught some footage of this when I was there. One of my few visits to the statue. But I mean, this is featured quite heavily as well in Tiffany Hsiung's film. Even in the trailer itself, it's displayed regarding. I mean, there's also clips in the trailer where Japanese men, I believe, are throwing very bad words to these comfort women, calling them, using a word that would basically mean prostitute, but I don't want to sort of use this word on air. You can probably guess what it is. But yeah, they went. Basically, these women are not going to stop. These activists are not going to stop until an apology comes from essentially the Japanese government, and not an apology accompanied with money, a real heartfelt apology, or even just a word sorry. It's not, it's more about pride, I think, or from what I gather, why it's not actually happened yet. There's also, I mean, there's lots of conspiracies out there as well on the other side of things. So there's always going to be people that are naysayers and non-believers, and this is exactly the reason need to see this film. Now, going back to Tiffany, the director, I actually met her in Busan. As I say, I saw the film there, met her a few times, hung out, and had a chat about this film and how she got involved. She kind of got involved by accident, but it was something that she felt very strongly about. She got to know the women concerned very closely. They're from China, from Philippines, and other countries. And to be honest, from listening to her and seeing the Q&As or discussions she did, which she's also doing at the 2 London screenings this week, the UK premieres, you can see that I don't think anyone better could tackle this than Tiffany. Now, as I say, there's 2 screenings this week. One is on the 15th of March, and one is on the 16th of March. The first one is at the Barbican Centre, the brilliant Barbican Centre in London, and the other one is at Picture House Central. The kind of, I was going to say newly opened Picture House. It's been open a little while now, but it's a very sort of nice venue. So those 2 are being screened, and not only they're being screened as a UK premiere for that film, as are many other good films, but it's a part of the Human Rights Watch Film Festival. So this film is a must see. I don't want to go into it too much more than I have. I've touched on the countries concerned, just to give you an example, the languages in the film, I'm reading this from the description on the details I've got of the film. There's the languages are Bisaya, Mandarin, English, Japanese, Korean. So yeah, I will kind of wrap it up there. I just want to get this out there. It's a really important thing for me, a subject matter that, as I say, I'm involved with protests, seminars and stuff in London and also in Korea when I've been there. And not only that, it's a documentary that needs to be seen. Even the sort of the tagline of the poster, if you want to call it a tagline, it expresses the fact that this is, the apology. It's called The Apology, and the tagline is before it's too late, because these women are going to be gone. And I think that's what people are hoping. Maybe people that don't want to apologise, or I say people, I'm not talking about individuals. I'm saying the government essentially in Japan. They need to, apologise. And I just think that people do say that they're biding their time until these women are no longer with us. I've actually met one or two of these women before as well. It's very, it's very upsetting anyway. So yeah, minimovie.com. You can also read a little bit of what I've just spoken about and some more. And I will be, so this podcast will be out there. That will be on the website. I would urge people to see the film and just see it and spread the word. Enjoy the discussions that go alongside it with Tiffany and the speakers, and might even see one or two of you at one or both of the screenings. That's pretty much it. I'm sure there's other stuff I could mention, but if I just direct you to minimovie.com, there will be a few more links on there, like the documentary's Twitter page, Facebook groups, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to sort of wrap it up there and say good night, and I hope you all, I wish you all the best. Thank you.